everybody, Resmatter here, and welcome to part 4 of my Fate Stay Night Let's Play. The last episode, we kind of restarted the game, except from another character's perspective, Shiro Emiya, the adopted son of Kiritsugu from Fate Zero. So, all the more reason that I'm glad that I played or watched the show, because I know who he is, so I know the circumstances of what happened there, so... he's grown up now. Carrie has died. I don't know how. I don't know if they're going to get into how he died. But, yeah, so he is the master of Saber. We saw him at the very beginning of the game, and we kind of see things from his perspective leading up to all that stuff. So, I'm assuming that this is going to be the part where, like, we see the showdown at the school and him getting killed off and revived, and then, like... I don't know how Saber was summoned to him, but we're going to find out, so let's go ahead and let's jump back into the story. My awakening is dark. Perhaps I just don't dream much, but unless something really special happens, I always seem to have the same dream. What I imagine are swords. I don't know why it is, but this is the only thing that comes into my mind. It's like he has memories of Saber without... Maybe he remembers seeing Saber when he was a kid? There's no meaning or reason to it. It may just be one of the aspects making up Emiya Shirou. There are no dreams to dream. The only things I recall from sleep are things I was taught a long time ago. For example, about magi. Even if I'm an amateur, if I'm a magus, it's only natural for me to understand the kind of world I live in. Frankly speaking, a magus is an exception who deviates from modern society. But even exceptions must band together to survive. Father told me the group of magi is called the Magic Association. He also said I shouldn't associate with them. The Magic Association hides magic and organizes magi. They basically keep watch to see that magi do not affect society with magic. But the strange part is that they do not prohibit misuse of magic. According to Kiritsugu, the Magic Association is only interested in the concealment of magic. Even if a magus carries out his research at the expense of the lives of many ordinary people, the Magic Association will not punish him. Their priority is that magic should not become public, so they do not ban magic. So they're crazy people who think you can do anything as long as you don't get caught. Anyway, the surveillance of the Magic Association is thorough. Most magical research would cost the lives of ordinary people, and as a result, the existence of magic would become public. So the association does not allow research that would harm society. So magi stay at home and research quietly, while the normal world carries on unmolested. Hence, magi only try to hide themselves to escape the association. So perhaps I just don't know it, and a magus lives in this town. I hear Fuyuki City is a spiritually excellent area. Such an area always has a distinguished magus with a history. They're called second owner, an elite, and the association entrusts the area to them. Magi who would live in the area must visit them and obtain their permission to construct a workshop. Looking at it like that, we're thieves living here without the permission of the landlord. Father was an outlaw who cut his ties with the association and moved here without the consent of the administrator of Fuyuki. The owner doesn't know Emiya Kiritsugu was a magus, and Kiritsugu doesn't know who the owner was. With reasoning like that, I think our position is ambiguous. Father, the real magus, has passed away, and I, his son and pupil, don't know the Magic Association and have not the skills to become a magus. From the association's point of view, they'd want to catch an amateur like me doing things, but I've seen no movement yet. No, I have heard that Japan is relatively hidden from the eyes of the association, so I think I've just not been found out. But that doesn't mean I can let my guard down. People say the eyes of the association are everywhere. On top of that, if you commit a crime with magic, the heretic hunters of the church will come after you. That just means whatever you use magic for, lack of care will create enemies. I, Emiya Shiro, just have to study independently, taking that into account. I wake up to see the sun shining in through the window. The sun may have just risen as it's still a bit dark outside. I get up, trying not to be defeated by the morning chill, and quickly fold up my futon. It's 5:30. One of my strengths is waking up at this time no matter how late I go to sleep. I do sometimes make mistakes and wake up late like yesterday, but I usually try to wake up early. Since I let Sakura do all the work yesterday, I have to return the favor this morning. I should finish preparing before Sakura arrives. I cook rice and make some miso soup. It was radish and carrot yesterday, so I make onion and potato miso soup today. I also make the usual broth egg and broth boil, and I'm done. I cut and salt the sorry? And stop just before cooking it. It's almost 6 o'clock. I finished earlier than expected, so I have some extra time. So, what should I do? Oh, another choice? Oh, maybe not. The morning exercises are my daily routine, so I'll go and stretch my body a bit. The empty dojo is quiet enough to brace myself. In the morning, when the sun has just risen, the silence has a holy feel to it that fascinates those who come here. There's only one thing to do now that I'm here. Since Kiritsugu died, this place has become a gym to train my body. Even a magus cannot neglect to train their body. One of the requirements for a magus is to have excellent physical abilities. While Kiritsugu was alive, we had many matches here. Well, it was pretty much him beating on me, so I didn't learn anything about how to win in a fight. But I think I learned the difference between a fight and a battle. In other words, I was taught the difference between killing your opponent and beating your opponent. Knowledge and experience are different. Unless I know in advance, it's hard to tell whether I'm involved in a fight or a murder. It's a simple story. As long as you learn magic, you might destroy yourself, and times will come when you have to fight. For a magi, a fight means killing each other. So I think what Kiritsugu wanted to teach me was to prepare my mind for the prospect of death. But it's been a while since my teacher passed away. On my own, all I can do are simple exercises that anyone could do. I wonder if we're going to get into, how he died? It's kind of left up in the air uncertain. After warming up by stretching, I start my exercises, keeping my attention inside my body. I comprehend the flow of the magic circuit, the friction in my bones, the distortion in my thinking during fatigue, all while I'm training.
120 150 170
Even a simple push-up can be training for the magic circuit if I put on mental shackles instead of metal weights. As I don't have a teacher, exercise like that of club's morning practice is an important part of training. Sakura is cheerful, and behind that admirable junior. She's got a little tiger cup. I love, for someone who doesn't like being called a tiger, she certainly leans into it, doesn't she? Fujini moves slowly to the table. First, I have to cook the fish I've prepared.
Sakura,
Sakura takes out a dish from the back. I think I saw a faint bruise on her wrist when she leaned forward. Ooh, what's that? That wasn't from her brother, I hope. Or was it from that dude? The dude that Rin saw her with. What's going on, Sakura? Like someone grabbed her wrist or something. She looks away awkwardly, and that tells me who caused that bruise. Oh my gosh. Why would you be friends with this dude? He just gets more and more... I can't with this guy. Indefensible.
これは転んでぶつけちゃったんです。ほら、私鈍いでしょ。
I feel like my dude and Shinji are gonna get into a fight at some point.
だからよく転んで怪我ばっかりしてるんです。
バカ、転んだぐらいでそんなあざがつくか。信じたやつ、どうやらまだ殴られ足りないみたいだな。
Oh wait, he isn't tired of getting beat up yet. Is that implying that I've already beaten him up a couple of times?
ダメです先輩。これ本当に兄さんは関係ないんです。私が一人で怪我をしただけなんですから、先輩に怒ってもらう資格なんてありません。
Sakura falls silent. Sakura looks calm, but she's pretty obstinate. It's useless to say anything to her now.
わかった。さくらがそう言うんならそういうことにしておく。
はい、ごめんなさい先輩。
だからどうしてそこでさくらが謝るんだ。悪いのはシンジだろう。
At the mention of Shinji's name, Sakura looks away awkwardly. In other words, he is the cause of that bruise. Mato Shinji has a bad habit of being hard on his sister, Sakura. I first noticed it about a year ago. Sakura was injured sometimes, and she just evaded my question when I asked about it. That's probably another reason why she likes hanging out here, is just like being away from her brother for a bit. When I asked Shinji about it, of all things, he said he was the one who hit Sakura. When I asked him why he hit her, he said he just hit her because he felt like it. Wow. Not like there's... Damn, not like there's any excuse to, like, beat on your sibling, but just like, I felt like it? Really? After that, I got pissed and did to Shinji what he did to Sakura. So I'm glad that, like, you know, like, Shiro's been mentioned as, like, he wants to be a superhero, and I guess that kind of falls in line with that. He wants to defend the defenseless, but it's nice to see that, like, he's not quite your stereotypical, like, protagonist who might be, like, a little bit weak until later on when they find the power. Like, it's good to see that he's willing to, like, stand up for people, and he's willing to, like, put the beat even on his friends. Since then, we've been estranged, so they're not really friends anymore. I still don't regret punching him, but I think it's my fault Sakura's being treated worse. So that's part of the reason why Shinji doesn't want Sakura hanging out with him, because they're not friends anymore.
したよ。別に初めから喧嘩なんてしてないから仲直りも何もないけどな。
先輩にとってはそうでしょうけど、兄さんにとっては喧嘩をしたことになるんです。だからその気をつけてください。
Sakura says strange things sometimes.
気をつけろってシンジを?
I wonder if Shinji's gonna get killed by Saber, because Saber, from what little we've seen of her, she is not afraid to, like, immediately go into fight mode. So if, like, Shinji tries to hurt Shiro, like, I could see Saber being like, I must defend my master, and just killing this kid.
はい、兄さん、先輩を目の敵にしてるって聞きました。その先輩が退部するようになったのも兄さんのせいだって。
それは違う。部活を辞めたのはシンジとは関係ない。いや、そりゃ多少はあったかもしれないけど、そんなのはさくらが気に病むことじゃないぞ。
I point at my right shoulder. There's a scar there. It happened a year and a half ago. A shipment collapsed on me during work and I hurt my right shoulder. I got out with just a broken bone, but the shipment was a hazardous one and I got a burn on my skin. After that accident, I quit the archery club. My school archery club emphasizes formalities as they let us shoot formally even as students. The men expose their right shoulder when they shoot. Shinji commented it might be indecent for someone shooting formally to have a scar on their shoulder. Since I was busy with work, I quit the archery club right then.
先輩、しつこいようですけど、本当にもう弓は引かないんですか？藤村先生も怪我なんて支障はないって言ってるのに。
何を平和な。藤姉は全身骨折しようが支障ないっていうやつだぞ、さくら。
先輩、私真面目な話をしているんです。
I should answer seriously too, but I can't give her the answer she wants.
当分は部活をしている余裕はないよ。弓は好きだけど、 優先するべきことじゃないし、しばらくは間を取ろうと思う。
しばらくってどのくらいですか？
気が向いた頃かな。まあさくらが卒業するぐらいまでにはなんとか。その時はよろしくな、さくら。
I pat Sakura's shoulder.
私その時をお待ちしています。
And she nods so powerfully it seems she might drop the plates she's holding. It's almost 7:30. Sakura and Fujini have already left for their morning club practice. I went to school early yesterday because Issei wanted me to, but I leave my house at the usual time today. I run into an unusual scene when I reach the intersection. Several police cars are parked outside a house. Something must have happened, as it's noisy and lots of people are surrounding the area. I'm curious, but I cannot tell what's going on with all the people surrounding it. I have no time, so I should prioritize school. It's interesting, Rin didn't see that in her. Maybe she missed it somehow. I guess they're in like different parts of the city, but still. I reach school 10 minutes before the bell. I enter the main gate as usual. I bump into a familiar female student.
なんだ、まだ着替えてないのか、三辻。もうすぐホームルームだぞ。俺に挨拶なんかしてる場合じゃないだろ
う。いや、ごもっとも。相変わらず釣れない野郎だね、エミヤは。
She laughs as if something's really funny. Mitsuzuri Ayako. She was my classmate in first year, and she's now the captain of the archery club. She's very insightful, and everyone expected her to become captain since the first year. Well, in other words, her mental age is older than her real age, so she's been the older sister type everyone counts on since she was a first year. Though she gets mad when people say that. According to her, she's not that old.
ああ、今あんた、よからぬ感想を漏らさなかったかもし。
そんなものは漏らさない。あくまで客観的な事実を連想しただけだ。それで気を悪くするのは三辻の勝手だが。
お、言うじゃん。いいね。正直に答えるくせに何をどう考えてたかは口にしないんだもの。エミヤ、シンジと違って隙がないな。
シンジ？なんでそこにシンジが出てくるんだ？
なんでも何も、あんたとシンジって友人じゃない。
Well, about that.
シンジの男友達ってあんただけでしょ。それにお忘れでしょうが、私これでも弓道部の主将なの。うちの問題児とやめちまった問題児をくっつけるのは自然な流れだと思わない？
まあ確かに自然だ。弓道部ってのは関係ないけど、俺とあいつは腐れ縁だからな。
あ、カチンときた。あんたね、弓道部の話になると急に冷たくなるでしょ。いいご身分よね。シンジをほっぽっといて自分はさっさと退場しちゃうんだから。後に残された私とかさくらの気持ちとか少しは考えてくれてもいいんじゃない？
シンジのやつまたなんかやったのか？
あいつが何もやらない日なんてないけど、まあそれにしても昨日のはちょっとやりすぎか。
That was right when like Rin totally knocked him down a couple of pegs, so he probably was really salty and was even more of an asshole than usual.
1年の男子が一人辞めたぐらいだから。
And that might also be why he gave that bruise to Sakura, taking it out on her too. Mitsuzuri sighs seriously. It's rare for her to make a face like this, but even more than that, I can't ignore what she just said.
なんだよそれ。部員が辞めたってなんで？
シンジのやつが八つ当たりしたのよ。わざわざ女子を集めてね、夢を持ったばかりの子にシャをさせて的中するまで笑い物にしたとか。
はあ？お前そんな馬鹿げたことを見過ごしてたってのか？
見過ごすか？けどさ、首相ってのはいろいろと忙しいんだ。いつも道場にいるわけじゃないってエミヤだって知ってるでしょ？
それはそうだが、にしても何考えてんだシンジのやつ。 必要以上に厳しく教えることはあっても素人を見せ物にするようなやつじゃないだろ
呆れた。エミヤっては本当にあれだ。
あれってなんだ。今お前よからぬ感想を漏らさなかったか。
あら、私はあくまで客観的な事実を連想しただけさ。それで気を悪くするのはエミヤの勝手だね。
このついさっき聞いたような返答をしやがって。いや、それよりシンジはどうしたんだよ。なんだってそんな真似をしたんだ。
聞いた話じゃ遠坂にこっぴどく振られたとかなんとか。
遠坂ってあの遠坂か。
うちの学校にあれ以外の遠坂なんていないでしょ。2年 A 組の優等生、ミスパーフェクトこと遠坂凛よ。
いや、そんなあだ名は初めて聞いたけど。
It's the first time I've heard the nickname, but I probably agree with it. With Tosaka involved, I can understand even Shinji getting turned down, and most of all. If it was Tosaka, I could see her refusing him mercilessly.
ともかくシンジのやつは昨日からずっとその調子よ。おかげで私もこんな時間まで道場で目を光らせてたってわけ。
シンジのやつ変にこらえが効かない時があるからな。三つ釣り大変だろうけど頑張ってくれ。
はいはい。けどね、シンジって懲りないでしょ。また遠坂に声をかけて振られた日には今度こそ遠坂本人に何かしそうでさ。
I feel like she's telling me this because she wants me to do something about it. And I was like, well, not exactly in the best, don't have the best relationship right now, so.
いくらシンジでも振られた相手には近寄らないだろう。あいつそのあたりはちゃんとしてるぞ。
I feel like Shinji, he is definitely like potential loose cannon that might do something bad to somebody.
けど相手が近寄ってくるんだからしょうがないじゃない。遠坂さ、なんか知らないけどうちの道場よく見学に来るのよ。エミヤは辞めちゃったから知らないだろうけどね。
That's the first I've heard of it. Tosaka Rin doesn't do any club activities for personal reasons. I thought she went straight home since she even turned down the recommendation to join the student council.
たまにはそれもいいか。あいつもお高く止まってるし、一度ぐらいは痛い目に遭うのもいいかもね。
Nope. Mitsuzuri says some dangerous things. Come to think of it, I heard Tosaka has many enemies. Could Mitsuzuri be one of them?
おい、三つ釣り。いくらなんでもそれは。
あ、そろそろ時間だ。じゃあね、エミヤ。今度私の弓の調子見に来てよ。
Mitsuzuri hurries off.
相変わらずだな、あいつ。
But I like that part of her. Feeling calmer now, I head for the classroom. Alright, this is all well and good, but let's get to the fight and what happened from his point of view. It's lunchtime. Our school has a splendid cafeteria. Most students eat there. But there are some old-fashioned students who bring their own lunches. Two of them happen to be me and the student council president in front of me.
エミヤ、その唐揚げを一つくれないか。俺の弁当には圧倒的に肉分が不足している。
いいけど、なんだってお前の弁当ってそう質素なんだ、一世。いくら寺だからって酒も肉も取らないなんて教えがあるわけでもないだろ
う。何を時代錯誤なことを。これは単に親父殿の趣味だ。小坊主に食わす贅沢はない。悔しいのなら己で何とかせよなどという。いっそ今からでも天祖になるか。俺も考えどころだ。
あのじいさんなら確かに。
Issei's father is the priest of the Ryodo Temple, and a bold guy who's old friends with the old man at Fujini's place. You can't expect a normal personality when he's friends with a guy like that.
それは。じゃあ、いつか恩返しを期待して一つ。
I hand him my lunchbox.
いやいや、ありがたく。これも托発の修行なり。
Issei bows deeply. How can I put this? I never know what to say when things like this remind me that he's the son of a priest.
ああ、そういえばエミヤ、朝方2丁目の方で騒ぎがあったのを知っているか。 ちょうどエミヤと別れるあたりの交差点だが。
交差点？
The intersection this morning, he must mean that clamor with all the police cars.
なんでもな、殺人があったそうだ。詳細は知らないが、一家4人中
Oh,
助
wow.
かったのは子供だけらしい。両親と姉は刺殺されたというが、その凶器が包丁やナイフではなく、
Like
長物だ
a
というのは普通
lance,
じゃない。
perhaps? A long weapon. He must mean something like a sword. Or a sword. I just thought about Lancer, but... It was a murder, so that must mean the sister and the parents were killed. I picture it. Someone barging in during the night. Unjust violence. A one-sided pillage like an accident. Slashed parents. The sister killed without even knowing what's going on. To the side, the child covered in their blood.
一世、それ犯人は捕まったのか？
捕まってはいないようだな。信徒の方では欠陥工事による事故、こちらでは辻切りめいた殺人事件だ。学校の門限が早まるのも当然。どうしたエミヤ、喉に飯でも詰まったか？
別に何もないけど、なんだよいきなり。
いや、エミヤが厳しい顔をしていたのでな、少し驚いた。すまん、食事時の話ではなかったな。
I wonder what that's about. I was like, a sword? Could that be Saber? Would Saber just murder innocent people if they are innocent? Like, she hasn't been summoned yet, has she? Issei tries to soften the air apologetically. I was fine with the topic, but was I really making such a nasty face? I can't remember in this world, can you get, like... Rin may have mentioned it, like, you can, like, get magical powers, or, like, you can get power from murdering people? Or am I thinking of something else that I played or watched recently? Everything kind of jumbles into one. So maybe, like, one of the magic users, one of the mages, or magi, is going around and killing people to get power for their summoning or for the Holy Grail War. And then there was a quiet knock at the door. Oh, it's that creepy teacher.
ああ、はい。
I know it's probably, it's like the perspective, but it makes the teacher look so tiny compared to the big student. Issei addresses Kuzuki, who just entered. It must be a simple talk about the student council, as Issei seems pretty relaxed. That's not something you see every day. Despite his appearance, Issei is very shy. The guy who draws a line against his classmates and even his teachers is letting his guard down with Kuzuki.
真面目なとこで気が合うのかも。
Kuzuki Shuchiro, the teacher in charge of Class 2A, is serious and stubborn. Probably that aspect helps him get along with Issei, who prizes order and discipline. The two continue to talk. All the while, I can't get the story of the murder out of my head. Class ends and it's time to go home. Okay, because this is 2-1, right? February 1st. I think that is when that fight happens between Lancer and Archer. So we should see things go down soon. I cannot go anywhere as I have work today. I should leave school and go straight to the neighboring town, but... Of course, I have no choice here. I have to stay. Still worried about the conversation I had this morning. I've made my way to the archery club before I knew it.
もう何やってんだ俺。
According to Mitsuzuri, Tosaka Rin comes here often. Well, I really don't care about that, but I know that Shinji getting angry at her is going to be a problem.
シンジのやつ、カッとなると止まらないからな。
It's bad if Shinji gets violent just because she turned him down. I wonder if Mitsuzuri mentioned about how, like, Shiro is Shinji's one male friend, so maybe it's almost like an obligation. He feels like I have to be friends with him, even if we don't quite get along even before, like, they got into that fight. Because I talked about how it's like sometimes when you're childhood friends with someone and then you go into, like, high school, sometimes you feel, like, obligated, like, to stay friends with them, even if maybe you don't have the same interest or, like, you don't really mesh as well. But I feel like it's almost like Shiro kind of has to, like, he feels like he's got to be friends with him to, like, kind of keep him in line and, like, try and keep him from, I don't know, I don't know why it's bad. It's just bad. It makes me feel bad just thinking about it, so I have to stop it from happening. Mr. Superhero Shiro.
なんだ、遠坂いないじゃないか。
Tosaka isn't around. Mitsuzuri's worries were needless.
誰がいないって？だから誰がいないって？
And there's Issei, whom I just left behind.
お前か、一世。あんまり驚かすなよな。
いや、エミヤが挙動不審げに道場を眺めていたからつい。で、誰がいないって？
誰って遠坂だよ。なんでも昨日、シンジと一悶着あったらしいんだ。それで一応様子を見に来ただけだ。
ほうほう、挙動不審だな。聞かれてもいないのに理由まで話すなど。俺は誰がいないかと聞いただけなのだが。
なんだよ、別にいいだろ。俺が何しようが俺の勝手だ。
うん、それはしかり。だが無駄だぞエミヤ。遠坂はここにはいない。なぜならあいつは今日ずる休みだ。
何？
Skipped school, so she was absent today?
そうか、欠席か。待て、一世。なんで遠坂がずる休みなんだよ。あいつがそんなのするわけないだろ
う。するとも。あいつが風邪などひくものか。俺が見たところあいつは悪いやつだ。外見に騙されるとパクッと食われるぞエミヤ。
Man, they really do not get along, do they? Is it because she turned down the student council and he's salty about it? Somehow, Issei's words annoy me. It's true I don't know her, but I can't imagine she's a bad person.
言い過ぎだぞ、一世。遠坂はそんなやつじゃないだろ
う。なんだ、エミヤも遠坂狙いなのか。ああ、それはすまない。今のは流してくれ。
After Tosaka, who said anything like that?
勝手に決めつけるな。俺はただ、シンジが揉め事を起こしたら大変だから。
シンジが遠坂に殴りかかろうとしたら止めるためか。またそんな役回りをするな。別に俺は気にしないが、割と趣味が悪いのだな、エミヤは。
してないから損じゃない。けど、一世、お前、今変なこと言わなかった？
遠坂狙いは趣味が悪いってことかい？
そう。遠坂は人気あるじゃないか。俺も、あいつの悪い噂は聞かないぞ。
ああ、聞かないね。それがまた気に食わない。
There's a term like bitch eating crackers where it's just like someone just annoys you and you don't know why, but like everything they do annoys you. And that's how this is feeling. It's just like he's so upset, even if there's no reason for him to like hate on Tosaka. He might have his personal reasons, but even like if there's no rumors or anything, he's just like, but it's the fact that there's nothing negative said about her that itself is suspicious.
気に食わないって、どの辺がだよ。
だから全部だよ。あれは女狐だ。女性だ。妖怪だ。とにかく生理的に気に食わない。悪いことは言わないから、エミヤも気に入らないようにしろ。
What's the thing about, like, he doth protest too much? I feel like he might have the hots for her, but he is almost ashamed, maybe because he's a priest's son. So he's just, like, warping it into, like, oh, she's making me feel feelings, and that makes her evil, because I don't like this, that she makes me feel weird and tingly.
いいっせ。人の陰口は良くないって、お前の口癖じゃなかったか？
たわけ。これが陰口に入るか。俺は聞こえるように喋っている。
Ah, no wonder I feel someone's eyes from the archery dojo. Thank God. I'm so glad Tosaka's absent today.
頼む、いいっせ。悪いが、早速陰口にしてくれ。
エミヤがそういうのなら了解した。が、とりわけ中傷していたわけではないぞ。単に竜道一世が遠坂凛を警戒していると言っただけだ。あくまで個人の趣味嗜好の範囲だろ
その割には妖怪だとかメギツネだとか言ってたけど。
And I think the term schoolgirl is discrimination.
何？褒め言葉だ。メギツネにも妖怪にもいいものはいる。あくまで遠坂を表現する値として採用しただけである。かつ。
Issei laughs.
それではな。俺は生徒会室に戻るが、エミヤはバイトだろう。こんなところで道草を食っている暇はなかろう。
He must feel refreshed now that he said everything he wanted, as he leaves calmly. I've known him for 2 years now, but I still don't understand his personality. Oh, okay, so he is going to work. Ah. So maybe this wasn't the day? Or he ends up at school for some reason. 20 minutes after taking the bus from my school, I arrive at the neighboring town of Shinto across the bridge.
なんだ、まだ5時前か。少し時間があるな。
Miyama City is a residential district, so there's no part-time jobs there, but the developing Shinto has many available. The school approves of students having part-time jobs, so I work a few easy ones. I prefer hard physical labor that ends as quickly as possible. It's killing 2 birds with 1 stone, as it builds my body while I get paid for it. Today's job is a simple loading job from 5 to 8 o'clock. Even though it's only 3 hours, there's 6 hours worth of work to do. They make you run around without a minute's rest. So I should rest where I can, even if it's just for 10 minutes. It's a waste of energy walking around until my job, so I guess I'll rest in the park. Oh, the park! Is this the same park that Rin was at with Archer, and then she was like, someone's watching us, or like, I can feel somebody here. This park among the buildings is like a big field. A park should be filled with people like families and lovers on weekends, but it's empty here now. No, this place is always desolate.
相変わらずだな、ここは。
I'm a bit sad. The utterly neglected ground looks awful compared to the neatly organized surroundings. The desolate area makes the wind feel cold. This is the remains of the conflagration 10 years ago, and this is the place where I was saved from burning to death.
なんで芝生とか植えないんだろう。いつまでもこのままってのはもったいない。
It's a large area, so if they retiled it, the park would get bigger. Thinking absent-mindedly, I sit down on a bench. I stare at the burned land to pass the time. I don't remember what happened here back then. I probably don't remember because I was a kid, and it wouldn't have been an easy scene to memorize. All I can remember is it was hot and I couldn't breathe, and that people died trying to save others.
どうしてそうなのかな。
For example, an adult that tried to save a child from a burning house. He saved the child, but died in its place. For example, there were people who had their throats burned, but they gave what little water they had to one guy, and the others died. For example, there was someone who ran alone to get away from the fire as fast as possible, and everyone that he passed on the way died. And for example, people who died because they gave away something that was saving them, only to save others they didn't even know. I didn't like things like that. It makes me mad that those who tried hard were sacrificed. Am I greedy to want an ending where everybody is safe and happy? All I wanted was to see people relax peacefully. So why couldn't I manage such a simple thing?
それは難しい。シロの言っていることは誰も彼も救うということだからね。
Kiritsugu answered so to the question I asked as a child. Of course, as a child, I denied it, because Kiritsugu saved me. I knew he was a sorcerer who could do anything. I knew he was a superhero who couldn't ignore people in need, who saved them for no benefit. So I believed Kiritsugu could have saved everyone back then. I wonder if he's going to find out the truth about him. When I told him that, he made a troubled expression and said something I remembered to this day.
シロ、誰かを救うということは誰かを助けないということなんだ。いいかい？正義の味方に助けられるのはね、正義の味方が助けたものだけなんだよ。
I understand that. It's obvious now that he said it. Let's say there's a robber and some hostages, and the robber intends to kill the hostages. With normal methods, most of the hostages will be killed. Even if you use a miraculous method to save all the hostages, there will still be one person who isn't saved. That, of course, is the robber whose hostages were rescued. The people a superhero saves are only those he decides to save. That's why even God cannot save everyone.
それが天才ならなおさらだ。誰であろうと全てを助けるなんてできなかった。
The fire 10 years ago was like that. It's not something I, who was miraculously saved from it, can talk about now.
けど嫌だ。
I don't want such a thing. I don't want help that has a limited capacity. You have to help no matter how impossible it is. I can't stand to have strangers dying around me like back then. So if I had been there 10 years ago, even if it was impossible, I would have gone into the fire. So it seems like this need to help might stem from like tremendous survivor's guilt.
そのまま無駄死にしてたろうな。間違いなく。
That's for certain. Jeez, I'm hopeless. It definitely feels like his dream, the holy grail that he wants, like, it to grant will be something like, I want to be a superhero, I want to save everybody. It's a very broad wish, so I maybe have to be more specific about it.
しまった。ぼんやりしてたら5時になっちまった。
The 5 o'clock bell rings. I stand up and quickly make my way to my work. When my job's done, the sun is already set. It's a bit before 8. I finished 10 minutes early because I worked too hard. It seems I worked frantically since I went to that place before work. Here in front of the station, the night's just getting started. There are lots of people and a constant flow of cars on the road. Oh, maybe this is when... this wasn't the fight just yet. Maybe that's the next day because Ran and Archer were on the roof and then she looked down and she said that she saw someone she recognized. It's probably going to be Emiya, I'm guessing. Or Shiro. The buildings are still lit up, and just looking at them makes me feel like I'm watching a grand festival of illumination.
藤姉にお土産はいいか。
I walk while looking up at the lighted building. It's the biggest building in Shinto. Yep, that's where they see each other. So I can't see the top clearly. I just gaze up at the building, enjoying the night scenery. Yep, when I think I see something out of place.
なんだ今の。
I stop and stare at the rooftop. I focus my eyes looking at the thing as small as a grain of rice. It looks like someone I know. Why is she there? What would she be doing there? With her long hair fluttering and doing nothing, she looks down at the town. It doesn't seem like she notices me down there. Or down here. No, there's no way she could see me. She's so high up that I, with better eyesight than most, can barely see her by improving my vision with magical energy. I can recognize her since she's standing there alone, but there's no way she'd notice me down here among all these people. She's just looking down at the town. Maybe she's looking for something, as I can feel her sharp stare even down here. I forget about time and keep looking up at the girl standing in the sky. She's on top of a tall tower. She's like a witch looking down at the earth with the moon behind her. And then, she must be done with whatever she was doing as she disappears. Her figure has disappeared and the scene returns to the beautiful view of the night.
今の遠坂だったのかな。
I have no proof, but I think I'm right. There aren't many girls with looks that stand out that much, and more than that, I'm not stupid enough to mistake a girl I secretly admire.
そうか。にしても。
Well, Tosaka sure has strange hobbies. Unlike Shinto, there's no one in Miyama City. After 8 o'clock, there are no people around, and the town is terribly quiet. At the junction is the house I saw this morning. There's no sign of people, and the door has a "Do Not Enter" sign. After only one day, the house is as quiet as an abandoned building. Parents and older sister killed by the burglar. What kind of life remains for the child left behind? I bite my lip, feeling powerless. Even after swearing to become like Yuritsugu, I can't do anything about something that happened so close by. Even though I want to help someone, in the end, I don't even know what I can do. I climb the hill and reach the Emiya house. The lights are still on, so Sakura or Fujini must still be there.
ただいま。あれ、藤姉だけか。
おかえり、シロー。
Fujini turns around, munching on a rice cracker. The TV shows a loud variety show.
もうまたこんな時間に帰ってきて。冬は日が暮れるのが早いんだから、もっと早くに帰ってきなさいって言ったでしょ。
だから早く帰ってきてるだろ。8時までのバイトを選んでるんだから、これ以上無茶言わないでくれ。で、さくらはどうしたんだよ。なんか晩飯の支度だけはできてるみたいだけど。
さくらちゃんなら早めに帰ったわよ。今日は用事があるからって晩ご飯だけ作ってくれたの。
Fujini says so happily. As far as she's concerned, anyone who cooks for her is a good person.
そっか。確かにしばらくはその方がいいかもしれないな。最近は物騒だし、いっそ新学期まで晩飯は俺が作ろうか。
反対。シロ帰ってくるの遅いじゃない。それからご飯作ってたら食べるの10時過ぎになっちゃうよ。
Is he gonna say something like, or you could cook? Crazy idea.
あのね、そこに自分家で食べるという選択肢はないのか、あんた。
だからここが私の家だよ。
Fujini seems puzzled. Honestly, I'm not sure if that makes me happy or sad.
わかったよ。藤姉に飯を作れなんて無理難題を言ってもしょうがねえ。それはいいけど、足元のそれなんだよ。また余計なものを持ってきたんじゃないだろうな。
Fujini has a terrible habit of leaving junk at my place. Large bowls from restaurants, a heavy teapot she got in the shopping district, a strange guitar that plays by itself. I think she thinks of this place as some kind of warehouse.
ちょっと見せてみろ。ゴミだったら捨てるから。
これうちで余ったポスターだけど。
Fujini hands me the poster. It's probably some infamous idol or something.
どれどれ。
Here we have a military-style guy with his thumbs up on a cheap-looking blue sky background. In letters like blood, it reads, "Love's lovely Rangerland. Please join the self-defense force." Hold on, this is an army recruiting poster.
それいらないからあげるね。
俺だっていらねえよこんなの。
I roll up the poster and hit Fujini with it.
へへん、外れ。
But Fujini deflects my attack with a poster she had hidden and counterattacks mercilessly. Bam! The poster lightly knocks my... Stars! I saw stars. This is a teacher.
シロの腕で私に当てようなんて甘いわよ。悔しかったらもうちょっと腕を磨きなさいね。
そんな問題じゃないだろう今の。なぜに紙のポスターがかような破壊音を。
Could this be the skill of a master?
あ、ごめんごめん。こっちのポスター初回特典版なんで豪華鉄板仕様だった。シロ、頭大丈夫？
藤ねえ、いつか絶対に人を殺すぞ。その性格。
へへ、その時はシロがお嫁にもらってくれるから安心かな。
Excuse me, what?
全速でお断りです。そんな天然殺人鬼を相方にもらう気はないやい。
うん、私そんな物騒なのじゃないと思う。
やっぱり得てしてそういう連中は自覚がないっていうのは本当だったのか。
How true, how true. I'll have to watch out or I'll be killed.
ふんだ、言ってなさい。そんなことよりシロ、私お腹減った。今まで待ってたんだから早くご飯の用意しよう。
Fujini stands up. How strange. Fujini is helping out, even if it's only setting up the dishes. She must be really hungry.
はいはい。じゃあ藤姉は皿と茶碗な。ご飯ぐらい告げるだろ。
告げるよ。ねえシロ、私丼でいいかな。
いいんじゃないか。今日はさくらもいないし、どうせ飯は余るし。
よしよし。それじゃ、シロもお揃いね。
Fujini pours rice into 2 bowls. Oh well, I was going to have seconds anyway, and besides, if I argue with Fujini, she'll take my dinner away. And to add, chaotic dinners like this have been common scenes for many years now. The day ends. Finishing a rowdy dinner and seeing Fujini off, I take a bath. After that, I practice my daily routine in the shed. I complete it as usual and go to sleep. It's 1 in the morning. The day ends peacefully without any troubles, and that is where that's going to end. It's just going to be complete chaos from here on out. I'm in a fire, collapsing buildings and burning people. No matter how far I run, the scenery is always red. This is a vision of 10 years ago, a memory of the distant past I haven't remembered in a while. I run through it as if recreating the scene. There's no escape, even though I know it's a dream. I run, keep running. In the end, where I end up is how I've saved after running out of energy. I wake up with a bad feeling, a feeling like a metal weight is inside my chest. I feel my forehead and find I'm sweating a lot, even though it's winter.
ああ、もうこんな時間か。
It's already past 6 o'clock. From the kitchen, I can hear the sound of the kitchen knife cutting something.
さくら、今朝も早いな。
There's no time to be impressed. I have to get ready quickly and go help fix breakfast.
シロ、今日どうするのよ。土曜日だから午後はアルバイト？
いや、バイトは入ってないよ。一世のところで何かやってると思うけど、それがどうかしたか？
別に。暇だったら道場の方に遊びに来てくんないかなーって。私今月ピンチなのだ。
ピンチって何がさ？
お財布事情がピンチなの。誰かがお弁当を作ってくれると嬉しいんだけどな。
断る。自業自得だ。たまには一食ぐらい抜いた方がいい。
Is she literally incapable of making food at all?
で、シローには期待してないもん。私が頼りにしてるのはさくらちゃんだけなんだから。ね、さくらちゃん。はい、
私と同じものでよろしければ用意しておきますね、先生。
オッケーオッケー。じゃあ今日は一緒にお昼を食べましょう。
Breakfast continues as usual. Today, along with the usual, there's simmered lotus root with chicken. I don't think she has to make anything this elaborate for breakfast, but I think she made a lot of it to take for lunch, too. Sakura is a member of the archery club, and Fujini is in charge of the archery club. It's natural for them to share lunches.
そういえばシロー、今朝は遅かったけど何かあった？
Fujini looks at me, sipping her miso soup. Geez, she's usually slow, but she always gets sharp only at times like this.
昔の夢を見た。寝覚めがすっげえ悪かっただけで、あとはなんともない。
なんだ、いつものことか。なら安心かな。
Fujini ends the conversation like she's not interested. I'm not worried at all about it either, so I shouldn't get mad about it. 10 years ago, I used to have nightmares back when I couldn't get the fire out of my mind. But I saw less of it as time passed, and I'm well over it now that I can let it slide, even after dreaming about it. But I guess it was pretty bad back then. Since Fujini has been here since that time, she's sensitive to my change.
シロー、食欲はある？今朝に限ってないとかない？
ない。なんともないんだから、人の夢にかこつけて飯を横取りするな。
チェ、シローが強くなってくれて嬉しいけど、もうちょっと繊細でいてくれた方がいいな、お姉ちゃんは。
そりゃこっちのセリフだ。もうちょっと可憐になってくれた方がいいぞ。
We make fun of each other without looking at each other. That proves my liveliness, and Fujini laughs with relief. To be honest, I'm glad she's worrying, but she'll be elated if I thank her, so I act like I'm discontented. Not knowing the circumstances, Sakura looks puzzled at the way we're acting. After Fujini leaves, we lock the house and leave.
先輩、今日の夜から月曜日までお手伝いに来れませんけど、
Oh, well,
よろしいですか？
how perfect is that though, right? I mean, that stuff happened like late with the whole like Lancer coming to the house and Saber showing up, so it's pretty I love how it's just like I just won't happen to be there for reasons. So that's good for that, because she probably might have died in the circumstances.
別にいいよ。だって土日だろ。さくらだって付き合いがあるんだから気にすることないぞ。
そんな違います。そういうんじゃないです。本当に個人的な用事でちゃんと部活にだって出るんですから。だから何かあったら道場に来てくれれば何とかします。別に土日だからって遊びに行くわけじゃないです。だから変な勘違いはしないでもらえると助かります。
Sakura's acting suspicious, and she looks very tense. I don't know why, but I guess she just means she can't come this
分
weekend.
かった。なんかあったら道場に行くよ。
そうしてもらえれば嬉しいです。
Sakura looks relieved, and when she looks down, her face suddenly stiffens.
先輩って
Sakura's staring at my left hand. Oh, did he get the thing on his hand? The crest, the magic crest? Looking down at it, it's bleeding. I pull up my sleeve. There is certainly blood there.
なんだこれ。昨日の夜ガラクタいじってて切ったかな。
But it doesn't hurt at all. There's just a welt on there. The welt goes straight from my shoulder down to the hand, and it looks kind of like a small snake running from my shoulder to my hand.
ま、痛みもないし、すぐに引くだろう。大丈夫。気にするほどじゃない。
先輩がそう言うのでしたら
Perhaps she's feeling bad from seeing the blood, as Sakura looks away and falls silent. I leave Sakura, who has club activities, and head to the school building. The schoolyard is full of spirited students running around. But still, there's something oddly wrong here. The school is like it always is. The students at morning practice are lively, and the new school building is spotless.
気のせいか。
Right? He sees like the thing Rin saw with like that area set up, the magic area. But when I close my eyes, the air completely changes. The school building is covered with stains like membranes, and the students running around the schoolyard seem like empty dolls.
疲れてるのかな。
Oh, that's right. Okay, so I think I was correct about, because didn't Rin say something like there was that magic circle or something was set up to be able to like drain the abilities, like they basically killing a whole bunch of students because somebody wanted to like take their energy? I think so. I think that is correct about like I was trying to think of the game I was getting mixed up with. It was Paranorma Site that I played a little while ago, where like you can steal people's souls, and it's better to use it from magical, like people who can use magic, or who have supernatural abilities, but you can still take it from regular people. You just won't get as much power. That could be the same circumstances as this, I just can't quite remember. I shake my head to clear it. I head to the lifeless building. School ends early on Saturdays. Classes end before noon, and after I finish helping Issei, the sun is starting to set.
さて、そろそろ帰るか。
I pack up and leave my classroom. And then...
なんだ、まだ学校にいたんだ、エミヤ。
This douche. I bump into Shinji. There are a couple of girls behind him being rowdy.
やることもないくせに、まだ残ってたの？ああ、そうか。また生徒会にごますってたわけね。いいね、エミヤは。部活なんてやんなくても内心稼げるんだからさ。
生徒会の手伝いじゃないぞ。学校の備品を直すのは生徒として当たり前だろ。使ってるのは俺たちなんだから。
よく言うよ。エミヤに言わせれば何だって当たり前だからね。そういういい子ぶりが勘に触るって前に言わなかったっけ？
すまん。よく覚えていない。それシンジの口癖だと思っていたから、どうも聞き流してたみたいだ。
Oh, just being like, I disregard, like I wasn't even paying attention to what you were saying.
そうかい。それじゃあ学校にあるものなら何でも直してくれるんだ、エミヤは。
何でも直すなんて無理だ。せいぜい面倒見るぐらいだが。
よし、なら頼まれてくれよ。うちの弓道場さ、今割と散らかってるんだよね。弦も巻いてないのが溜まってるし、安土の掃除もできてない。暇ならさ、そっちの方もよろしくやってくれないかな。元弓道部員だろ。生徒会になんか尻尾振ってないで、たまには僕たちの役に立ってくれ。
ちょっと先輩、それって先輩が藤村先生に言われてたことじゃなかった？
そうですよ。ちゃんとやっておかないと明日怒られますよ。
でもさ、今から片付けしてたら店閉まるじゃん。そこの人がやってくれんならそれでいいんじゃないの？
悪いよ。それに部外者に後片付けなんかできるわけないし。そうでもないんじゃない？あの人元弓道部員だってシンジが言ってるしさ。任せちゃえばいいのよ。
And then I'm just gonna do it. They're getting rowdy behind Shinji. It seems they're in the archery club, but they must be members Shinji recruited recently, as I don't know them.
じゃあ、あとはよろしく。鍵の場所は変わってないから、勝手にやっといてよ。文句ないよね、エミや。
なあ、構わないよ。
Oh,
どうせ
man.
暇だったから、たまにはこういうのも悪くない。
So Shiro got killed partially because this guy couldn't be bothered to, you know, do the thing he was supposed to do and just put it on to Shiro to do.
サンキュー。それじゃあ行こうぜみんな。つまんない雑用はあいつがやっといてくれるってさ。
あ、待ってよ先輩。あ、じゃああとはよろしくお願いしますね先輩。
The cleaning ends quite easily as I know the place well. It took a while as it's quite big, but it was fun cleaning the place I used until a year and a half ago. I picked up a bow thinking it might be okay to shoot just once, but since it wasn't mine, I decided not to. If I ever want to, I could just bring my own bow and come here.
にしても、カーボン製の弓が多くなったな。1年前までは1つしかなかったのに。
Carbon-based bows are good, unlike wood and plastic bows. But the biggest problem is the price, and they're not something we could buy with the club budget. Back then, Shinji was the only one using it. Are the new members rich too?
もったいない。木の弓の方がいろいろと手を加えられるのに。
Well, I guess that's personal taste. When I look at the clock, it's way past curfew. It's a little after 7 o'clock. The gates should be closed by now, so there's no reason to rush. But still, was this dojo always this dirty? There are loads of places that look unkempt.
ここまで来たら1時間も2時間も変わらないから。
Oh, dude. Being a good guy. Bit him in the ass here. I've started this, so I'll finish the job. I can see where Issei talks about, like, he feels like he's getting taken advantage of. Even though he insists, he's like, no, I do it because I want to. The wind is blowing. It's so cold my cheeks are getting numb. Fuyuki City isn't usually cold during the winter, but it is cold tonight of all nights. My breath hangs around as a white cloud. I wrap up my body to hold off the cold.
なんだ。暗いと思ったら月が隠れてるのか。
There's no light in the sky when I look up. Because of the strong winds, the clouds are moving fast. It's past curfew and there's no sign of life in the empty school. It seems this place is filled only with chill, as it's all silent. Oh, there's the fight. Just now. I think I hear something.
確かに聞こえる。校庭の方か。
This night, I must have been curious about the sound that broke the silence. To investigate it, I find myself heading there, even though I somehow know I mustn't. I go to the schoolyard.
人？
Well, they only look like that from a distance. It's a dark night with no light. If I want to know more, I'll have to go closer to the schoolyard. I can hear the sounds louder now. It's the sound of metal hitting metal. That must mean someone is fighting with weapons.
バカバカしい。何考えてるんだ、俺。
I dismiss the image from my mind with a bitter smile and walk on. At that time, maybe my instincts noticed the danger, as I hid myself as I approached. I don't know if this is fortunate or not. But anyways, when I get by a tree that's big enough to hide myself, I take a closer look at the source of the sound. My mind stops completely. There's something strange there. A man in red and a man in blue. They're dangerously armed, and as their ominous appearance suggests, they're actually slashing at each other. I can't understand. I can't follow them with my eyes. My brain does not work properly faced with their impossible movements. But the clang of their weapons tells me they're trying to kill each other. I just knew immediately when I saw them. They're not human. They're probably just things that look like humans. So he probably has no idea. Like, has Carrie ever told him about the Holy Grail War at all? And if that's the case, then I guess that just means that Saber just appeared to him because he didn't, like, intentionally summon her, I would assume. I can tell not because I'm learning magic. Anyone would realize they're not human. After all, humans can't move like that. So there's something no one should associate with. I can feel their murderous intent even from a distance. I'm going to die. My body understands faster than my brain that I'll definitely die if I stay here. Well, he died anyway. Thankfully, he was brought back. That's why my heart is racing so fast. As a living thing like them, I sense that they're living things made only to kill. They're using weapons made only to kill. I remember the murder yesterday. They said the family was killed with some weapon, like a sword. I shouldn't watch any longer, but my body won't follow my commands and I can't even breathe. My mind wants to run away, but my judgment tells me I'll be seen the moment I run away. More than the conflict within me, my body is just numb. Even though I'm over 40 meters away, I can't breathe properly, and it's like I have a spear pointed right at my back. Well, he's gonna have a spear pointed at him soon enough. The sounds stop. The figures separate and stand facing each other. The moment I feel relief at the end of their battle, I sense an even stronger intention to kill. My heart stops. The numbness in my body becomes convulsions, and I clench my teeth to try to hold my trembling body. An overwhelming amount of magical energy is flowing into the guy in blue. Kiritsugu showed me once what it's like to draw in magical energy from the surroundings. It was a beautiful magic that impressed even an amateur like me. But that thing's different. Just as even the simple task of drinking water could seem ugly if it goes too far. What he's doing is so excessive that anyone with knowledge of magical energy would hate it. He's going to die. The guy in red's going to die. It's a blow with that much concentrated magical energy. There's no way he'll be able to survive it. He'll die. He's not human, so something merely like a human will die. Does he not see Rin at all? Where is Rin in all this? That's something I can just ignore? Oh gosh, did he... So obviously they spotted him. Did he step up to be like, I'm gonna save that guy because I need to save everybody because I want to be a superhero? That doubt takes my mind off of them. The binds on my body disappear, and the instant I take a deep breath. Oh, jeez. The guy in blue stares at me, who's hiding. Okay. I thought... I was afraid that he was gonna, like, jump in or something. Like, I don't remember anybody doing that, but... The blue guy's body sinks. Just that motion tells me I'm his target now. My legs start running automatically. I finally realize it's an action to escape death, and I put all my energy into my body into running away. So moral of the story here, kids, is don't do favors for people, because it might get you killed. I don't know how fast I ran, but before I know it, I'm in the school building.
Fuck.
I regret my actions, panting heavily. I should have run into town to get away. I don't think it matters. You're dead either way. What am I doing fleeing to such a deserted place? And a school of all things. Isn't there some better place to hide than here? Anyways, why do I think I'll be killed if I don't escape? My heart aches from running so much. Turning around, I can sense nothing pursuing me. The only sound in the air is the sound of my footsteps. So I can finally rest. I stop my feet, unable to take another step, send oxygen to my pumping heart, and look up to finally realize that I'm safe. I recall the scene from earlier while catching my breath. Anyway, I'm sure it wasn't something I should have seen. Some things like humans were fighting in the school grounds. That's all I can remember. But there was something else I saw out of the corner of my eye. But I can't remember what that figure looked like. To be honest, I didn't have the composure to notice anything other than those two fighting. The voice comes from right in front of me. I can't breathe. My brain stops, and even though I can't think, I vaguely understand that I'm going to die.
What
The lance is casually raised.
運が悪かったな、坊主。見られたからには死んでくれや。
And the man's lance mercilessly pierces Emiya Shiro's heart. Womp womp. I mean, we know he survives, but this feels like any other visual novel. This would be bad end. I made the wrong choice. There wasn't even time to dodge it. All the training I did was for nothing. I knew I was going to be killed. I knew I was going to be pierced by that lance, yet I couldn't move at all. The world distorts. My body grows cold. Feeling vanishes from my fingertips. I cough up blood once. More blood should have come up, but it only happens once. Perhaps the man's lance is special. The blood slowly clots, and the heart that should have exploded stops working with just a single pierce. I can't see well. There's no feeling in me. I feel like a jellyfish floating in the dark sea at night. I don't feel any pain already. The world is white, and only I am black. So rather than feeling like I'm dead, it's more like the world around me has disappeared. I know this. I felt this 10 years ago. This is how someone feels when dying.
死人に口なしってな。弱い奴がくたばるのは当然といえば当然だが。
I cannot concentrate on my vision.
まったく嫌な仕事をさせてくれる。このざまで英雄とは笑い草だ。
I can only hear voices.
分かっている。文句はないさ。女のサーバントは見たんだ。おとなしく戻ってやるよ。
Okay, so he's probably talking to his master, whoever the master is. A voice filled with irritation. And after that, I hear footsteps running through the hallway.
アーチャーか。蹴りをつけておきたいところだが、マスターの方針を破るわけにもいくまい。
So we know it's a guy.
まったく、いけすかねえマスターだこと。
The voice suddenly disappears. I guess he jumped out of a window or something. And after that, footsteps approach me and stop. In that brief period, more footsteps. I can't hear much now.
追ってアーチャー。ランサーはマスターのところに戻るはず。せめて相手の顔ぐらい把握しないと。
Whose voice was that? I concentrate my fading mind, but I can't remember anything. Right now, my breathing's too noisy. My lungs must still be alive. The air coming out of my mouth is as loud as a hurricane.
その割にはまだ死んでないってのはすごいな。
It's probably only because he has some magical training. Maybe that's what saved him. I sense someone looking at my face. Perhaps my breathing was loud as the figure tries to close my mouth and...
やめてよね。なんだってあんたが。
I hear the person grit their teeth, then they touch me without hesitation.
破損した臓器を寄贈して代用。その間に心臓一つ丸々修復か。こんなの成功したら時計塔に一発合格ってレベルじゃない。
A pain-filled voice. With that, my mind stops fading. Feeling returns to my body. Slowly, bit by bit, like a drop of water going down a leaf, feeling returns to my body. What is the person doing? The person is sweating and places their hand on my chest with all their heart. I wonder if she has... It seems like she doesn't really interact with Emiya very much. Maybe it's because that she knows he's the one who has like a little bit of magical powers. When she's like, oh, why did it have to be you? Or maybe she has feelings for him. Maybe she just is like, oh, he's a good dude. He didn't deserve to have this happen. Why couldn't it have been Shinji instead? When I notice the place where the person placed their hand is terribly hot. It must be so hot that the frozen blood melted and started to flow again. I sense someone taking a deep breath and sit down. I hear a clang of something falling.
まあ仕方ないか。ごめんなさい、父さん。あなたの娘はとんでもなく薄情者です。
I wonder because she left the necklace, didn't she? And then maybe Shiro took the necklace with him. And that's it. The person speaks to mock themselves and leaves. My heart resumes its activity, and then my mind stops. This is not the sleep of death. This is the restful sleep to recover the energy to wake up again. This is all well and good, but I want to see the first, like, what happened with that moment in his house where Saber just appeared to help save him from Lancer. I wake up. I feel sick. My whole body is in pain, and I have a sharp headache every time my heart throbs. I can't remember because of the sharp headache. My body is cold, probably from lying on the floor for a long time. The only certain thing is my ripped uniform and my own blood on the floor. I get up with a hazy head. The spot where I was lying looks like a murder scene. Had my chest pierced? Bearing the pain, I enter the closest classroom. Moving to the locker with unsteady steps, I take out a mop and a bucket. He can't help himself. Even when he just came back from death, he's like, I don't want to be leaving a mess. I gotta clean up after myself. I'm still confused. Why do I still think I have to clean up when I've just met something totally outrageous and been killed instantly? Am I an idiot? I wipe the floor with the mop. With unsteady hands, I manage to get the blood wiped off and pick up any trash lying around and put it into my pocket. Maybe I'm destroying the evidence. I'm still in a daze, so perhaps that's why I'm doing something so absurd. I put back the mop and bucket and leave the school like a zombie. I get hotter as I walk. The air is so cold, but it feels like my body is burning. When I get home, the day has already changed. There's no one home. Neither Fujini nor Sakura is around now. I collapse to the floor. I lie on the ground and finally calm down. I take a deep breath. When I inhale, my heart cries in pain as if cracking apart. No, that's wrong. It wasn't just cracked. It had a hole in it, but it healed, and the wound tries to open up again when I inhale. No, that's wrong too. I wasn't almost killed. I was actually killed. But I'm still alive in spite of that, because someone saved me. Since the person was there, that person might have something to do with them. But that makes no difference to the fact the person saved me. I have to thank them one of these days. The moment I let my guard down, the pain returns. At the same time, I feel like vomiting. I sit up and resist the sickness. I place my hand on my bare chest where the uniform is ripped. Even though I was saved, I did have a hole in my chest. That feeling, such an unpleasant feeling, a spearhead entering my body, isn't something I can forget easily. He's so casual about it. He's like, damn, this is just being slightly traumatizing. On top of the nightmares he's already having. If I close my eyes, it feels like the lance is still in me. I shake off the illusion and try to calm down. The result of all that training every night. Just taking a few deep breaths clears my mind, and the heat and nausea vanish from my body. A man in blue and a man in red. They looked human, but I don't think they were. Were they like ghosts or something? But I've never heard of ghosts with form, able to associate directly with people. And they were talking, too. If they have their own will, it's hard for me to think of them as ghosts. I've heard the only ghosts with a body are spirits, but aren't they shaped differently from humans? There's another fundamental problem. Those two who were killing each other. The murderous burglar that appeared in the neighborhood. The ongoing ominous events in Fuyuki City. All I can tell with such thoughts is that it's way out of my league. Perhaps because the wound on my chest is so vivid, I complain about things I shouldn't.
まあ抜け。わからなくても自分にできることをやるって決めてるじゃないか。
Complaining comes later. First, I have to decide whether or not it's my concern. Ah, here we go. Lancers come back to finish the job. The bell hung from the ceiling rings. This is a Magus's house, even if only a poor one. There's a boundary field that alerts me when a stranger enters the property.
こんな時に泥棒か。
As I speak, I realize my foolishness. That can't be it. With this timing, right after that strange incident, that can't be it. There's an intruder, not a burglar, but an assassin who's here for my life. Because I remember that guy saying, "You saw us, so die." The house is filled with silence. In the silent darkness, the murderous intent I felt at school is slowly drawing closer. My throat gulps. I feel a sharp chill running down my spine. I will be instantly pierced if I move from this room. I frantically contain the scream about to escape my mouth. The instant I release it, the assassin will happily jump in and take the opportunity to kill me. If that happens, it will be just like before. Unprepared, I'll be pierced by that lance again. The moment I think about it, my breathing goes wild. Damn it. I'm ashamed I'm about to give up my saved life so easily, and I'm afraid. Gritting my teeth and holding my chest, I try to restrain myself. I should get used to it. This is the second time. This is the second time I'm about to be killed. That alone's enough to make me want it to end differently from last time. Besides, I'm a magus. What have I been learning for the past 8 years if I can't even protect my own life?
いいぜ。やってやろうじゃないか。
Enough thinking. Right now, I just have to counter the intruder.
まずは武器をどうにかしないと。
Even though I'm a magus, all I can do is strengthen something that could be a weapon. To fight, I need a weapon. The shed has lots of things that could become weapons, but it's too far away. If I'm attacked when I leave the living room, it will just be a repeat of what happened earlier. I don't know why he thinks, like, the living room is it's, like, safe space. He's like, it's like kids when they're, like, hiding under their blankets. Like, as long as I don't leave from under the blankets, I'm fine. Like, if it's a inhuman, otherworldly assassin, he could easily just... Unless he's got some sort of barrier that, like, protects the living room specifically that they can't get past. It'll be difficult, but I have to find a weapon here. Something long and thin would be best. My opponent's weapon is a lance, so something like a knife won't do. It'd be great if there was a wooden sword or something, but of course there's nothing. If anything here could be a weapon, it's... I'm disappointed, but despite that, I'm determined even in this hopeless situation. Things are already as bad as they can be, so they can't get any worse. So all I have to do is run forward until I run out of energy. With the words that suggest my reconstruction, I channel magical energy into the 60-centimeter long poster. I have to turn it into something that could repel that lance, so I need to channel magical energy into every corner and solidify it. Man, what if he was able to defend himself against a deadly lancer with a poster? Extend my consciousness. As if soaking my blood into the poster through my skin, I permeate magical energy into it. A sense that I've hit the bottom, right before the magical energy overflows from it. I cut off all connection with the poster and shudder at the feeling of success. The poster is now as hard as metal, but it is as light as it was before, so I couldn't ask for a better sword. How many years has it been since I last succeeded the strengthening magic? It's kind of ironic. The magic I've never been able to achieve since Kiritsugu died is finally working in this kind of a situation. Some people do better under pressure, I guess. I might be able to do something. I have some knowledge of how to use a sword. I hold the poster with both hands and stand up. I'll die anyway if I stay here, and I don't think I'd be able to flee even if I escaped this house. So all I can do is run straight to the shed and make a stronger weapon. Come, if you're going to come. It won't be like before. In the instant I think that, my whole spine shivers. When did he arrive? Appearing from the ceiling, the guy drops straight at me. Silver light descends upon me. The guy that seems to have come straight through the ceiling descends to pierce my head. I frantically escape by rolling forward. He lands softly while I keep rolling, but I stop rolling and stand with my freshly made sword in hand. He turns to face me, looking bored.
余計な手間を。見えていればいたかろうと、俺なりの配慮だったのだがな。
He raises his lance again, seemingly uninterested. I don't know why, but he lacks the spirit he had at the school ground. In that case, I might be able to outwit him.
まったく、一日に同じ人間を二度殺す羽目になるとはな。いつになろうと、人の世は血生臭いということか。
The man is complaining as if he thinks nothing of me. I slowly move backwards. It's about 3 more meters to the window. Once out the window, it's about 20 meters to the shed. Then I can run off this instant.
じゃあな、今度こそ迷うなよ、坊主。
He says blankly, as if sighing it out. Pain assails my right arm. It happened in an instant. The man's lance is thrust without time for me to react. I would have faced my second death with that blow, but what prevented it was my newly made sword. He must have thought it was just paper. The lance thrust as if the poster wasn't there was deflected by it and only skimmed my right arm.
ほう、変わった芸風だな、おい。
The man's expression goes away. His carelessness disappears and he's now staring at me with beast-like eyes. I screwed up. I was just being stupidly optimistic when I thought I could do something. The thing before me is a monster beyond belief. Painfully, I realize my foolishness for letting my guard down even slightly against him. That's right. If I'd been really desperate, I should have ran frantically to the window as soon as I miraculously avoided his first attack.
ただの坊主かと思ったが、なるほど。微弱だが魔力を感じる。心臓をうがたれて生きているってのはそういうことか。
He points his lance at me. I won't be able to block it. I can't possibly block that lightning-fast blow. If his weapon were a sword, I might have been able to at least prepare for it. But that's a lance. A sword follows a line, but a lance has a point. How am I supposed to block a blow from a point I can't even see coming?
いいぜ。少しは楽しめそうじゃないか。
The man's body descends. In that instant, his lance is swung sideways. I block the lance coming at my face with just my instincts.
いい子だ。ほら、次行くぞ。
He's like a cat toying with a mouse before he kills him. There's a huge whirlwind. I don't know how he's moving the lance in this small room, but it makes a beautiful arc and comes to attack my body from the other side. My constructed sword, moved to stop it, bends. Is he using a hammer? Damn, this numbness feels like I've broken the bones in my arm. I swing the sword instinctively. He must take me lightly as he hasn't pulled back his lance, so I flick away the shaft with my sword. The arms that hit it go numb. The sword bends even more, and the man's lance only moves slightly.
使えねえな。機械をくれてやったのに無駄な真似しやがって。まあ、魔術師に切り合いを望んでも仕方ねえんだろうが。
The man was just playing with me. He let me hit him once since I blocked him twice. But I used up my one and only chance for just a makeshift attack. That's why he sees no point in fighting me anymore.
拍子抜けだ。やはりすぐに死ねよ、坊主。
He readies his lance again. During that small unnecessary movement, without looking behind me, I jump out the window. Alright, so the attacking head-on didn't do it, so Nike Strat is next. Just run. I break the window with my back and roll outside. I roll a few times, get up, and... without a thought, I turn and swing behind me. The man hesitates a moment as I deflected his lance thrust. As I expected. If I jumped out the window, he would definitely come after me. And he would kill me even before I could get up. That's why I expected the fatal blow and swung at it. You know, I gotta give Shirou some credit, you know, for it's like, I know he's been doing some training, but he's holding his own against a servant. That's pretty impressive. It was a bold plan. I would have died if it was a second too late or a second too early, but considering the difference in our skill, I could never have been too early. So all I had to do was get up as fast as possible and swing at what was coming behind me. The result was perfect. I won my bet and deflected the man's lance. I quickly regained my balance. Now I have to make it to the shed before he recovers.
Tobe.
The man who has supposedly had his lance knocked away comes up to me empty-handed and spins and executes a roundhouse kick. The scenery flies past me. My battered chest is numb and I can't breathe. Oh yeah, he still has a hole in his chest and he just gets like roundhouse kicked in the chest. No, what's more surprising is I'm flying. I never in my dreams thought I'd be sent flying by a mere roundhouse kick. I fall to the ground from my back. I hit a wall and come crashing down. I can't breathe. My vision's blurred. I manage to stand supporting myself against the wall of my destination, the shed. He's like, hey, thanks for helping me get to where I need to go faster. I tracked the man with my blurry vision. I must have been kicked 20 meters. The man approaches, lance in hand. I'll be killed. I'll definitely be killed. The man will be here in a second. If I don't want to die now, I have to get up and face him. The lance comes out at me. I can't even turn around fully, and my collapsing body faces the man's lance. How fortunate. I got lucky as I couldn't hold myself up and my knees collapsed. I feel like Shirou is both the unluckiest and luckiest person ever. He's had so many tragedies happen to him, and yet he's just survived by either like just sheer luck or just people helping him out. The lance goes over my head and hits the door of the shed, opening it. So, this is my last chance. If I go in the shed, there should be something I could use as a weapon. I enter the shed on all fours. There. A fatal, inescapable blow is thrust. And I block it. I unroll the poster and make it into a one-time shield. Huge impact. The open-up poster did block the lance, but it wasn't strong enough. It's pierced through and transforms back into its original paper. Hit by the impact of the thrust lance, I'm flung to the wall. Come on, where's Saber? We know she's gonna show up. I fall on my butt and recover myself. When I raise my head to try and find a weapon... The man is pointing the lance at me. This is it. The man's lance is pointed directly at my heart. I know this. This is the smell of death I felt just a few hours ago.
Shikashi, わからねえな。起点は効くくせに魔術はからっきしときた。筋はいいようだが、まだ若すぎたか。
I can't hear him. My mind's focused only on the weapon in front of me. It's only natural, because I'll die when that thing is thrust. So everything else is gone from my mind. What else can I think about now that things have ended up like this?
もしやとは思うが、お前が7人目だったのかもな。ま、だとしてもこれで終わりなんだが。
And of course, they gotta have, they have to give their monologue. And it ends up being his downfall. The man's arm moves. The movement I couldn't even see before looks like it's in slow motion now. The running silver light. The spearhead moves straight for my heart. It will spill blood in the next second. I know this feeling. The feeling of metal running into me. The taste of blood coming up in my throat. The sense of the world around me disappearing. I felt it all earlier. And I have to experience it again? Really? I don't understand. Why do I have to go through this? This is bullshit. That is the best way to think of like, man, why couldn't I have just died the first time? I can't accept this. I can't just die here meaninglessly. I was saved, so I can't die so easily. I have to live and fulfill my obligations. If I die, I can't do that. But the lance will pierce me. The spearhead will cut into my flesh and pierce my heart. It pisses me off. It's ridiculous to kill someone that easily. It's ridiculous for me to die so easily. He's like, I'm the main character. It's not supposed to happen. Dying twice in one day? That's ridiculous as well. Damn, everything's so screwed up, I can't contain it all, and
ふざけるな。俺は
won't be killed meaninglessly by someone like you. Truly, it's appeared like magic. In a blinding light, it appears from behind me. My mind stops. All I know is the figure who appeared is a girl. The moment it appears, it repels the lance thrust at my heart and steps up to the enemy without hesitation. So that's 3 times he's been saved. He got saved by Carrie when he was a kid, was saved by Rin, and now saved by Saber. And that's only the times that I've either seen or known it's happened.
本気か7人目のサーバントだと
The man readies his deflected lance and the girl swings something she's holding. Sparks fly twice, a strong swing. The man hesitates, receiving a heavy blow from the girl. He must have realized he's at a disadvantage as he jumps out of the shed with bestial speed. While keeping her guard up against the man, she quietly turns to me. The wind's strong today. The clouds drift and the moon appears for a brief moment. The silver light that shines into the shed lights up the girl in knightly form. I'm speechless, not because I'm confused by the sudden turn of events. I'm at a loss for words because of this girl's overwhelming beauty. Everybody says the same thing about Saber, about like, she's so beautiful. I know I'm about to die. Or like, you know, like she's about to kill me or like attack me, but she's just so beautiful and regal and amazing. Mary Sue. The girl stares at me emotionlessly with her jewel-like eyes. She says in a valiant voice.
Master.
I only repeat back her words. I don't know who she is or what she's talking about. All I know is this small girl is the same kind of being as the man outside. The girl says nothing and just stares at me silently. How can I put this? The figure in front of me is so special that I forget the situation. That the man outside could come and attack at any second. It feels like time has stopped around me. The fear of death has disappeared, and only the girl fills my vision. So he did summon her, what, just through sheer willpower of like, I will not die?
Master, Shirou.
She speaks again. The instant I hear the words master and servant. Okay, so he has like some subconscious knowledge about this. A pain shoots through my left hand. It's like a hot iron has been placed on my hand. Oh, okay, never mind. So he's getting his summoning things on his hand, right? I grab my left hand instinctively. That must have been the signal as the girl quietly nods her lovely face. I wonder if it was hinted at before, like when his hand was bleeding, if this was like something that was gonna happen, like it's been gonna happen for a while rather than just like at this moment. Even I have some knowledge of magic. I understand what that word means. But the girl doesn't answer and looks away with the same grace she had when she nodded. She looks at the door of the shed. There stands the man, his lance ready in his hand. She moves faster than I can think. The knightly girl leaps out of the shed without hesitation. I get up and follow the girl, even forgetting the pain in my body. There's no way that girl will be a match for him. No, you got the OP one, dude. It's like, everybody wants Saber. Even armored like that, she's a girl smaller than me. My words are silenced by the sound. I can't believe my eyes. This time my head really goes blank. The sound of weapons. The moon is hidden behind the clouds and the yards return to its original darkness. In it, sparks are born from steel hitting steel. The lance-wielding man wordlessly attacks the girl who jumped out of the shed, but the girl parries the blow of the lance and knocks away all following attacks, driving the man back with every blow. I can't believe it. The girl called Saber is overpowering that man. The battle's begun. What happened between me and him earlier wasn't a battle. A battle is a fight between two people who could kill each other. Whatever the difference in skill, if each has a way to kill the other, then you can call it a battle. Their fight is a battle in that sense, too. The man's lance that I couldn't even see is thrown with even more power. But the girl parries it with the thing in her hands, Excalibur, and he closes in on the man. The man retreats a bit. He holds his lance vertically to protect his ribs as the girl goes for them. For a moment, the man's lance glows. It was a blow like an explosion, and I guess it really was one. The instant the man blocks the thing the girl's holding, the lance in his hand glows as if electrified. The man, and even I, can tell what that is. That's a force of magical energy so strong that it's visible. In each of the girl's blows is a terrible amount of magical energy. That outrageous amount of magical energy is penetrating the opponent's weapon just by touching it. And here's the thing, is like, don't they, like, the servants feed off the energy of their master, and Shiro doesn't really have a lot of magical energy. So that just means Saber is just that strong, that she just has that power. Such a thing would take such force just to block it. If you think of the man's lance as an accurate sniper rifle, the blows of the girl are like that of a powerful shotgun. Every time the girl swings, the yard is filled with light. But that isn't what's overpowering the man. The man complains while avoiding the girl's fierce attacks. The girl doesn't answer, but only attacks even more with the thing in her hands. The man retreats with not even a chance for a counterattack, because the girl's weapon is invisible. Oh, that's right, I remember that from the anime. As he cannot sense her range, he'd be careless to attack recklessly. Yes, it's invisible. The girl definitely has something in her hand, but as you can't see what shape it is nor how long it is, you can't tell anything about it. Perhaps it's totally invisible, as it doesn't show up even when sparks fly off from it. The man must be having a hard time defending against it, as his movements aren't as sharp. And the girl lets out a voice for the first time. She swings her weapon with more fury, a storm of swings without pause. The flying sparks remind me of a blacksmith hitting iron. The lance-wielding man blocks them, clucking his tongue. I must say, I admire his skills even though he tried to kill me. The man's blocking invisible blows, watching only the opponent's legs and arms. But that's it. You only need to beat down someone who's gone defensive. As if to say so, the girl steps even closer to the man and delivers a blow with all her might, as if smashing him down. He must see this as his opportunity as the man disappears. No, he jumped back, making it look like he disappeared. The girl's blow cuts through air and destroys the ground, kicking up dust. The blow, swung as a final one, was easily dodged. I can tell even from a distance. I don't know about the careful blows from before, but such a big blow won't be able to touch that man. Even that man's body must have been straining under all those attacks, but he suppressed it for an instant and jumped away, as if this blow will determine the victor. The man who jumped back several meters jumps as soon as he lands. As if reversing his retreat, he jumps at the girl. In contrast, the girl still has her sword in the ground. That opening is irrevocable. The red lance returns in less than a second, and the girl twirls her body with the sword still in the ground. So the contest lasts less than a second. The man sees his mistake and tries to hold back, while the girl uses her whole body to execute her blow. The man blown away, and the girl who blew him away both seem discontent. They each launched their blows to kill the other. Even if they allowed them to escape immediate danger, they were worthless. Their distance opens. The two stare at each other silently.
どうしたランサー止まっていては僧兵の名が泣こうそちらが来ないのなら私が行くが
わざわざ死にに来るかそれは構わんがその前に一つだけ聞かせろ貴様の宝具それは剣か
The man glares as if staring right into her heart.
さあどうかな旋風かもしれぬし双剣かもしれぬいやもしや弓かもしれんぞランサー
Well, isn't a saber? Saber, isn't that like a type of sword? So wouldn't you be, because a lancer uses a lance, an archer uses, normally, a bow and arrow, so I don't know why it's so secret.
抜かせセイバー。
Perhaps it's really funny for him. The man, the one called Lancer, lowers his lance. It looks like he's indicating he doesn't want to fight anymore. The girl's puzzled by Lancer's action, but I know that stance. It was used in that fight a few hours ago in the schoolyard. It's the fatal move that was supposed to have ended the show.
ついでにもう一つ聞くがな。お互い初見だしよ。ここらで分けって気はないか。悪い話じゃないだろ。そら、あそこでほうけているお前のマスターは使い物にならんし、俺のマスターとて姿を晒せねえ大ふぬけときた。ここはお互い万全の状態になるまで勝負を持ち越した方が好ましいんだが。
I love when the servants just completely disrespect their masters and talk shit about them. It's great.
断る。あなたはここで倒れろ、ランサー。
そうかよ。たく、こっちはもともと様子見が目的だったんだぜ。サーバントが出たとあっちゃ、長居する気はなかったんだが。
It seems like the air around them distorted. Lancer lowers his stance. A chill runs through the air at that moment. It's exactly like back then. The magical energy rumbles in a whirlpool centered on the lance.
Hog.
Oh, gee, she's using her noble phantasm right away, huh? The girl readies her apparent sword and glares at the enemy in front of her. I guess if she is like, I'm about to kill this guy, so I don't care if I show my phantasm. The girl facing the enemy knows better than I how dangerous he is.
じゃあな、その心臓もらい受ける。
The beast jumps. Lancer instantly appears in front of the girl, as if he teleported, and thrusts his lance at the girl's feet. It was a bad move, even to my eyes. With the lance already lowered, it wouldn't be effective to aim low at the girl. To prove my point, the girl jumps over the lance and moves forward to slash Lancer away. At that moment, with words themselves charged with magical energy,
Bark!
the lance thrust at the girl's feet rushes towards her heart. Oh, well, wait, what? Her body rises into the air. This seems different than when we saw it from the other point of view. The girl is driven up into the air by the blow of the lance and she crashes down. No, lands on the ground. She's bleeding. The girl, who hasn't even received a scratch so far, is bleeding badly from her chest.
いや、今のは因果の逆転か。
I'm surprised too. No, since I saw it from a distance, I can tell better than her that the attack just now was a strange one. So it went like the opposite. It was like a pierce, like it was, what's the word I'm thinking of? Like, it's almost like a laser-guided missile, like, going after her heart. The lance was definitely aimed at her feet, so it went the opposite way, but it suddenly changed its course, moving strangely in an impossible direction and pierced the girl's heart. But the lance itself had not grown or bent. It looked so natural it makes one think the lance was already in her heart, and for that reason it's strange. It's not as simple as the lance changing its course and piercing her heart. The lance didn't change its course, but changed the means so the result would be so. The lance thrust with that name carried the result of piercing her heart as a premise. In other words, the process and result were reversed. As long as there was the result of the lance piercing her heart, the course of the lance was merely something added later to prove that fact. An evil thorn that breaks through all defenses. A lance that pierces the heart every time it's used. A weapon that determines your fate just by its use. How can anyone block such a ridiculous attack? However the enemy tried to dodge it, the lance will pierce their heart without fail. That's why this move is fatal. A cursed lance that always pierces the opponent with one thrust. But the girl has evaded it by a small margin. She's wounded, but it wasn't a fatal blow. In a sense, her actions were more impossible than the lance. The instant the lance was thrust, she turned and jumped back with all her might, as if she knew this was going to happen. Either she had incredible luck or enough divine protection to nullify the curse of the lance. Either way, Saber's OP, like I said. Either way, she avoided the fatal blow and sullied the lance's name. The girl catches her breath. The blood that was running so much had stopped, and even her stabbed wound is healing. I guess that's extraordinary. I knew she wasn't normal, but still, that's too strange. Like her skills to fight against Lancer, like the incredible magical energy in each of her blows, and like her body that heals by itself, this girl clearly surpasses Lancer. But that was only up until now. Even if it's healing, her wound is deep. If Lancer attacks her now, she'll be defeated without even being able to defend herself. But with this overwhelming advantage, Lancer doesn't move. He glares at the girl, grinding his teeth so hard I can hear it.
かわしたな、セイバー。我が必殺のゲイボルクを。
A voice that seems to echo from the ground. Oh, she's so tiny!
オミはアイルランドの光の巫女か。
Ireland's Man of Light. Okay, so maybe we're gonna get some backstory. So he's given himself away about, like, what his, like, who he is. I don't know if it's because she's kneeling or she's just that tiny compared to him, but it's kind of funny. Lancer frowns. His hostility disappears and he clucks his tongue in annoyance.
どじったぜ。こいつを出すからには必殺でなけりゃやばいってのにな。まったく有名すぎるのも考えものだ。
The pressure goes away. Lancer doesn't even attack the wounded girl and simply turns his back and moves to the edge of the yard.
己の正体を知られた以上、どちらかが消えるまでやり合うのがサーバントのセオリーだが、あいにくうちの雇い主は臆病者でな。槍が交わされたのなら帰ってこい。なんて抜かしやがる。
I don't understand if you have, like, arguably the most powerful servant and she's pretty much going to be taken down with one more hit. Why wouldn't you finish the job?
逃げるのか、ランサー。
But I guess just like with Shirou, I guess she's very lucky herself.
ああ、追ってくるのなら構わんぞセイバー。ただし、その時は決死の覚悟を抱いてこい。
With one bound, Lancer easily jumps the wall and disappears.
待て、ランサー。
The wounded girl starts running to pursue the enemy.
バカかあいつ。
I run through the yard with all my strength. The girl will go after him if I don't stop her instantly. That's gonna be one of his commands. Oh, but there was no need for that. When the girl tries to jump over the wall, she clenches her chest and stops. I run to her and stare at her. No, I tried to approach her to call out to her, but I forgot about it the instant I come near her. To put it simply, everything about her is absurd. Now that I'm near her, I can tell the shining armor she wears is really heavy. The old-fashioned cloth is smooth, a vivid blue. No, that's not what fascinates me. The girl who seems to be a few years younger than me is beautiful. Yes, we have to reiterate, she's just so beautiful. The golden hair lit by the moonlight is finely textured as if sprinkled with gold dust. The face, with some sign of naivety, has elegance and her white skin looks soft. I can't call out to her because I'm fascinated by her beauty, and also for another reason.
なんで？
Because seeing the girl fighting and getting hurt somehow made me mad. All the while I'm fascinated with her, the girl has had her hand on her chest. But that ends quickly. The girl lets her chest go and looks up as if the pain has gone away. She stares directly at me. I'm not sure how I should talk to her, but I notice something about her.
傷がなくなってる。
Even though it missed her heart, the lance stabbed her in the chest, but she's unscathed. I've heard of healing magics, but I didn't see her using anything like that. So that must mean even if she gets wounded, she automatically heals. Then my brain switches gears. This is no time to be fascinated by her. She's a strange being. I can't let my guard down until I know what she is.
お前、何者だ？
I take half a step back and ask her.
何者も何も、セーバーのサーバントです。あなたが私を呼び出したのですから、確認をするまでもないでしょう。
セイバーのサーバント。
はい。ですから私のことはセーバーと。
She replies without hesitation. Her tone is polite yet gentle, and just hearing it makes my head go blank. He's like, Sakura who? Forget about that. Saber is my new love now. Hey, what am I getting excited about?
そうか。変な名前だな。
I hide my burning face with my hand and reply really stupidly. I don't know what else to say. Could I get with Saber? Is that an option, to be with a servant? I wouldn't know of any such thing to say. Since I asked her name, isn't it natural for her to introduce herself? In that case, it'd be impolite to stay silent like this.
俺はシロ。エミやシロって言ってこの家の人間だ。
What am I doing? Are my answers getting stupider? But she told me her name, so I should answer too. I know I'm confused right now, but I have to be polite no matter who this is. The girl, Saber, just stares at me without changing her expression.
いや違う、今のはなしだ。聞きたいのはそういうことでなくて、つまりだな。
分かっています。あなたは正規のマスターではないのですね。
ね。
しかしそれでもあなたは私のマスターです。契約を交わした以上あなたを裏切りはしない。
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut her off. Ah, crap. I can hear her words, but they make no sense to me. All I know is she's calling me with a ridiculous word like master. He's like, it's making me all tingly.
それは違う。俺マスターなんて名前じゃないぞ。
それではシローと。ええ、私としてはこの発音の方が好ましい。
As soon as she says my name, I think my face lit up on fire. Yeah, he's in love. Shouldn't you call someone by their last name on a first meeting?
ちょっと待て。なんだってそっちの方。
Pain suddenly runs through my left hand. And the back of my hand is burning. My hand feels like it's in a fire, and it's on and on it is a strange mark that looks like a tattoo.
それは霊樹と呼ばれるものです。
What if he gave a command spell to be like, call me by my last name instead? She's like, okay, and that's one command spell used up.
私たちサーバントを律する3つの命令権であり、マスターとしての命でもある。むやみな使用は避けるように。
お前。
Before I can finish with "Are you?", the air around her changes.
シロ、傷の治療を。
She speaks in a cold voice. It seems her attention is on something far away, behind the wall, and not on me.
待て、まさか俺に言ってるのか。悪いけど、そんな難しい魔術は知らないし、それにもう治ってるじゃないか、それ。
Saber frowns a bit. I think I said something really wrong there.
ではこのままで臨みます。自動修復は外面を覆っただけですが、あと一度の戦闘ならば支障はないでしょう。
あと一度って何を？
外の敵は2人。この程度の重圧なら数秒で倒し得る相手です。
This is when she jumps up and then she sees Archer, right? Saying so, Saber jumps lightly. Just like Lancer, she leaps over the wall and disappears outside. I'm left alone in the yard.
外に敵？
As soon as I say it aloud, I realize what it means.
ちょっと待て、まだ戦うっていうのか、お前。
My body starts to move. Without thinking, I run to the gate with full force. I run to the gate, unlock it with trembling hands, and jump outside.
Saber! どこだ?
I search through the dark. The moon is hidden, now of all times, and it's completely dark. But I hear something nearby.
そこか。
I run to the small road with no sign of anyone on it. It all happens in an instant. Saber's confronting a familiar guy in red. Saber runs at the man in red without hesitation, takes his guard down with one blow, and easily slashes the man in red. Saber raises her arm to finish him off, but right before the man in red's neck is slashed, he disappears as a powerful magic is cast. Saber doesn't stop. She dashes to the person behind the man in red and easily cuts off the large spell that the person launches. And then he's gonna realize Rin's there and be like, don't kill her! I knew she was strong, but this is overwhelming. That spell right now is at a level of intervention magic that I can't even comprehend. Father could use one as strong as that, but to cast a natural intervention of that power instantly, I don't think even a first-class magus could do so. But Saber nullified even that master-class magic. The enemy must be a magus, as the match is decided right there. The magus's attacks are no use against Saber, and she mercilessly attacks the magus. The sound of someone falling backwards. The magus has miraculously dodged Saber's blow, but the enemy can't move. Saber corners the enemy and points her invisible sword. My mind freezes, probably because the moon lights up the scene for an instant. I can tell the figure Saber is pointing at is human. I can't tell who it is, but the image of Saber killing someone and getting splattered with blood pops into my head. Saber moves. She'll pierce the enemy's throat with the thing in her hand.
Yamero! Saber!
And that's one command spell. I scream as loud as I can. Her sword stops. Thank God I can't see her sword. The end of her invisible sword isn't wet with the enemy's blood.
やめろ。頼むからやめてくれ。
I address her, glaring, preparing myself to do my best to stop her.
なぜ止めるのです、シロ。彼女はアーチャーのマスターです。ここで仕留めておかなければ。
No, Saber has no intention of stopping. She only stopped because I said so, and she's ready to bring her sword down at any time. Oh yeah, he has to actually say, like, I think, yeah, they have to use the command spell. Except, did she used her command spell, like Rin, right? Like, she formally used one.
だから待てって。人のことをマスターだとか言ってるけど、こっちは点でわからないんだ。俺をそんな風に呼ぶんなら、少しは説明するのが筋ってもんだろう。
She's like, God damn, why'd I get such a dumbass for a master? Saber doesn't answer. She only stares at me in silence.
順番が違うだろう、セイバー。俺はまだお前が何なのか知らない。けど話してくれるなら聞くから、そんなことはやめてくれ。
Saber silent. Still pointing her sword at the fallen enemy, she looks at me discontently.
そんなこととはどのようなことか。あなたはむやみに人を傷つけるな。などという理想論を挙げるのですか。
Not hurting anyone unnecessarily? Well, it is true we should avoid fights as much as possible, but I'm not so good-natured as to release someone who came to attack me.
つまりあなたは敵であれ命を絶つなと言いたいのでしょう。そのような言葉には従いません。敵は倒すものです。それでもやめろというのであれば、令状を持って私を律しなさい。
いや、そんなことっていうのはお前のことだ。女の子が剣なんて振り回すもんじゃない。怪我をしてるならなおさらだろう。
Wow, way to downplay her. Girls shouldn't be swinging swords around.
そっか。本当に剣を持ってるかどうかはわからないんだっけ。いや、とにかくそういうのはダメだ。
Saber looks dumbfounded as if taken aback. How long were we standing like that?
で、いつになったら剣を下げてくれるのかしら。
I was waiting for Shiro to realize who the human is. The figure on the ground suddenly speaks. Saber suddenly concentrates her attention on her sword.
諦めなさい。敵を前にして下げる剣はありません。
あなたのマスターは下げろって言ってるのに。セイバーとマロンサーバントが主に逆らうって言うんだ。
Damn, Rin's such a badass. Doesn't even seem intimidated. Saber grits her teeth. But Saber lowers her sword and relaxes. Saber's hostility disappears, so she must have put away her sword as well.
さ、なら立ってもいいのよね、私。
The one on the ground stands up. She looks shameless, brushing her rear. Hey, wait a second. Finally, he notices that sulky person is definitely... What?
お前、遠さか。
ええ。こんばんは、エミヤくん。
Tosaka Rin replies with a big smile. I bet she's a little salty that the person who has almost no magical abilities managed to get Saber, who she wanted. That gets me. If she greets me normally like that, everything that happened up till now seems like a dream. And no, my head is about to explode. Jeez, how easy would things be if it did? So he's kind of in love with Sakura and Rin and Saber.
いや、だからさっきの魔術は遠坂が使ったってことだから、つまり。
Actually, let's check the relationships here. I checked them earlier, but let's check them again if I'm able to. Hold up. Is it not letting me? Oh, hold on. There we go. Yeah, so, yeah, okay. So we've got the relationships here. I'm assuming maybe romantic, but if so, this is concerning. Considering, like, I know they're not actual siblings and they don't know each other, but still, I don't know. So that's kind of interesting. I guess I can choose which girl I want to be with. Who would I choose?
魔術師ってことでしょ。まあ、お互い似たようなもんだし、隠す必要もないわよね。
When she replies clearly like that, it makes me seem stupid for asking. I mean, all the girls, there's a little bit of a weird factor. You know, Rin, considering that we're gonna try and kill each other, or at least each other's servants. Saber, because she is a servant, and she's not a real person. The girl with the white hair, because she calls me basically brother. Weird. And Sakura, I guess she's the least, because she's just the sister of a friend who's not even really my friend, so it's not as weird, but she's still a little bit younger. I don't know.
いいから話は中でしましょう。
どうせ何も分かってないんでしょ、エミヤ君は。
So saying, she walks toward the entrance.
待て、父さんが何考えてんだお前。
And then, she turns and the smile on her face isn't like the previous one.
バカね、いろいろ考えてるわよ。だから話をしようって言ってるんじゃない。エミヤ君、突然の事態に驚くのもいいけど、素直に認めないと命取りって時もあるのよ。ちなみに今がその時だと分かって。
She glares at me.
分かればよろしい。それじゃあ行こっか、エミヤ君のお家にね。
Tosaka goes through the gate.
なんかすげえ怒ってるぞ。はい。
It's only natural. She had a sword pointed at her until now, and she was almost killed.
いや、それにしたって。
Is it just my imagination, or is she totally unlike how she seems at school? Alright, so that is going to do it for episode 4. So things are moving along now. So we have, like, Shiro has met Saber. He is going to be learning what the whole deal is with Holy Grail War. It'll be interesting to know that, like, Rin has kind of, like, said that she'll tell him what's going on, like, how they're going to go about this. You know, she saved him from death, but yet if she wants to win the Holy Grail War, she's going to not have to kill Shiro, but she's going to have to kill Saber. So there's a little bit of kind of like, I imagine some tension's going to be happening. It'll be interesting to see like what Archer and Rin think of. I guess they're like at stalemate right now. Like it's almost like a ceasefire. And eventually Lancer will be coming back to finish the job. But like, I want to know who is Lancer's master. Is it the girl with the white hair that we saw earlier? The sister, not quite sister of Shiro? And when are we going to meet the other servants and masters? So all questions for another time. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned next week for episode 5. Until then, bye. Special shoutouts to my top tier patrons: Emily Hornsby, Lady of Eternity, Jared Fan, Revealing Storm, Asborn Kennedy, Icognito, Harry Gazif, Zoran Ether, Cardboard, and Shadow Dragon.